That intro didn't work out very well. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast for January 31st through February 6th of 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I'm going to go back and double check that we're good and streaming. We look good. It's been a while since I've gone live, so felt like switching it up. I hope everybody's doing well as we're switching things up. This is kind of a time of switch ups. This week we get a new moon in Aquarius at 12 degrees with Saturn square Uranus. These are extremely exciting new beginnings, unpredictable new beginnings, but there's a strong dedication to it as well, right? We have all these planets in Capricorn, and Mercury's going to station and go direct on the 3rd. So what is that, Thursday evening? In Capricorn, and it's with Pluto, and Venus started its retrograde, which Venus is now direct, started station with Pluto, and now we get a Mercury station with Pluto. Venus and Mars are getting close, and they are just going to pace through Capricorn, holding each other's hands. Super rare to have Venus and Mars go the same speed for a whole month in a sign. Like, that's just, these are very unusual, very odd times. But there's something about planning. There's something about dedication. There's a future here. There's humanity here. We have Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, the two rulers of Pisces, in the same sign, which we haven't seen since 1856. Wow. If you are scared right now to start something fresh in your life, this is the week we've all been waiting for, and you gotta go for it. You gotta start something fresh. You gotta do something new. This is a time to embrace your individuality, your uniqueness, the humanity within you, the human within you. This is a time to be very human as you're experimenting. Because even with the new moon at this 12th degree, this is a 3 degree. This is blowing past limitations. And yeah, Saturn's there, but it's still like balsamic. It's getting there, and we're getting ready for a sun Saturn. We just came off a sun square Uranus, and then the moon's going to square Uranus and then come to a new moon with the sun. Not only are we dedicating and building something for the future, but we're breaking through to new areas of consciousness, new areas of life that we've never seen. This is all new. So nobody knows what this is going to look like, and it's unpredictable as it can get. But there's something about this energy that's trying to go farther. It's trying to go into a whole different space, a whole different timeline. You could be channeling things and getting insight that you've never received before. And part of that can make you feel a little, it can feel like a lot. It can feel like overexpanded almost, because it is such an expansive new moon. And the opportunities are so, there really is no limit to what the opportunity is in life right now. And that's part of the illusion of the world, is that there's no opportunity. I can't do what I used to. And maybe there's truth to that, but that's old programming. That's old world stuff. These are new world, new exciting aspects of life, avenues and alleyways in life that we haven't even been at a place of consciousness to explore yet. And the radical shifts of lightning that can pulse through your body and through your being to get you to start going for something, because we have so much in Capricorn, and Mercury stationing, Mars, Venus, Pluto, Mercury. There's a lot in a sun Saturn. I mean, it can almost feel like we're still in somewhat of a Capricorn season, even though we really are kicking off Aquarius season full bore with a new moon. Because whenever we start a sign, yeah, we're in it, but it's not locked and loaded in the sign until we get that new moon, because we're still closing out a lunation in the previous sign. I'm excited. This is where you're going to start to see where the future is actually going, and you're going to have the stamina to pursue it and to go get it. And even Aquarius being a fixed sign, like, this is holding on to the intellect and being your unique genius to get things done, to expand past programs. And even having Mercury stationing at 24 degrees and Pluto, which will come to 27 degrees, but it's still right there, And then Mercury's going to speed up and catch up with Pluto again. Mercury, Mars are going to meet with Pluto. There's been a lot of Pluto in our lives. A lot. And of course, the United States Pluto return, the first hit of that will be February 22nd of this month that we're stepping into of February. So, wow. A whole program of 248 years and beyond that, in some ways, is getting wiped out. It's getting cleansed. It's getting, rebirthed, remodeled, whatever you want to look at it as. This is a whole new revolution in your own life. So you have to look at your life as that you're a revolutionary right now. And if you want to revolutionize your being and your physical world, oh yeah, you can dig deep and find that, but you have to know it. And that's another beautiful thing about this week is the North Node is going to be coming to 27 of Taurus, South Node 27 Scorpio. And they're going to be making great aspects to Pluto with a trine and a sextile. The destiny is in the rebirthing and the transformation of your inner power and your soul to go after the greatness. Because all this Capricorn energy, yes, Capricorn is a lot of things, but one thing it also is a hierarchy, and it's greatness and it's achievement and it's reaching a pinnacle. You can think about the midheaven in your chart. If you look at the zodiac from 0 Aries, the 0 point of astrology, that would start the first house. And it goes up to Capricorn, the midheaven. This is peak. That's why it's the mountain, right? We're trying to get to the highest point we've ever been to. And you have to know your worth and know your value to the highest degree of your just power of self-authority right now, so that you can actualize these unique gifts and what the channel is. Because in a lot of ways, Aquarius is the frequency and the interdimension and the connectedness that just comes through. And it's tapping into other realms. It reminds me of the Akashic Records. Just getting into what you need right now, and the genius that you came here to unlock is here to transform your life. But you can only do that if you're not scared. You can only do that because that South Node's in Scorpio and the dispositor is Pluto, and it's making aspects. It can be easy to slip into a fear or a dependence on an outer substance or source. And especially with substance, when we look at substance in life right now, Jupiter, Neptune, and Pisces, this is definitely a time to create the amazing magical moments in your life, but this is not a time to escape reality. This is a time to get into reality. If you want your reality to be great, you got to do something about it. It's not just going to poof, show up in your living room. That is some fourth house shit. There's no fourth house. There's no Cancer going on in this chart right now. And I know it's a new moon, and that has a little Cancer energy with the moon, but there is no new moon. There's no moon shit, fourth house shit going on. This is about doing something in the physical realm that you feel connected to, that is lightning in a bottle in your life. If you didn't think a miracle could happen or things could change quickly, get ready for change and get ready for it quickly. But if you're not going to put one foot in front of the other and start doing things, then can you really expect changes? Like, sure, some things can happen that can force change in life. That's definitely a possibility, especially when we're dealing with Pluto and Uranus. But in your personal life right now, because I can already feel when I'm in the collective right now and doing this channel that so many people are ready for a change in their life. They're ready for something. They need something. They're lacking something. And I'm telling you right now, like, I can feel the guides right now, like these people need to do something about that. We all have to do it. I have to do it too. There's things I want to do. Like, yeah, I've hit some accomplishments recently in my life that I'm extremely excited about, but that's not the peak. That's not the pinnacle. There's so much more. And I know that I have to work to go get it. And this is a time of work, because if you're going to connect to anything in life, it might as well be a purpose at this point. It might as well be for something more. And everybody's purpose is going to be different and unique. And that's the beauty of this time. And that's where we need to have compassion at the same time for everybody's unique, special destiny, because these are destined times. These are expansive times. These are rebellious times. These are revolutionary times. to be alive as a human being. And I'm extremely excited for this new moon. I'm extremely excited for February because I think this is the kick in the butt that we all need. Now, whether, like I mentioned before, the universe with these aspects to the outer planets kind of take matters into their own hands to force people to make change in their life, or whether you feel like you're ready to make the change yourself, I guess it doesn't really matter, but accepting the change for the best in life and to know your capacity to create a beautiful heaven on earth, because Taurus is heaven on earth. Taurus is one of the most beautiful signs in the zodiac, and that North Node is there, and it's asking for all of us to strive for the best and to focus on the creative aspects of life and the sensual aspects of life and to feel good and comfortable in this physical reality. But with a South Node in Scorpio and Pluto coming to the Pluto return to the United States, and let's not forget, Uranus is about to conjunct Canada's Pluto, which I want to talk about Canada's chart with all that's going on. So I'm going to pull that up. That was a big reason I wanted to do the live too. I want to pull that chart up because I bet every country in the world has some crazy aspect going on, but I haven't had time to look at every country, but I did look at Canada's chart and I got some things to talk about that chart. It's pretty fascinating. So there are huge things just changing within big countries. I wanted to call them corporations because basically that's what they feel like these days. It feels like the countries are these just corporations and they're like fighting it out. And there is a lot of fighting too. And there's a lot of war stuff going on. Of course, when you look at Russia and Ukraine, there's a lot of tension. And there's a lot of tension in even just the United States and around the world about this. So there's a lot that we're stepping into. But we're already in a war. We are in a psychological war. We are in a spiritual war. We are in a war for sovereignty. But we can transcend that by taking life and building. And this is a new moon that is trying to get us into our rebellious nature, to change things up, to fix, because Aquarius wants to fix things. Aquarius is a fixed sign, really, because it's fixed on fixing things. It wants to fix humanity. This is a big taste of where things are going. And even having Mars and Venus, they're going to be conjunct all the way through Capricorn, but they're going to conjunct exact at 0 degrees of Aquarius, which is where Jupiter and Saturn met on the solstice of 2020. There is so much that is trying to get us to the other side of this great cusp of Pisces Aquarius in the ages. These are some of the biggest leaps we've ever had to make. And you have to know you got it. This is a time to not back down, to be steady for beauty, to be steady for abundance. And it's hard. It's not like it's an easy thing to do right now. Like you look at the world, like money is it's all messed up. Stock markets look like they're going to crash. Like this financial axis is going to, like, value is a big deal. Especially like you have to know your worth and you have to go be able to create and generate worth. Literally, like by your physical life. And that could be through so many different avenues. There's an infinite number of ways to generate worth. But you have to get smart about it right now with Aquarius too, and these squares to Uranus and Uranus in Taurus and Uranus direct, and Uranus is pushing, and Uranus getting to 15 Taurus is going to be a big test in May. So we almost have to start preparing. And I think that this is a week of sort of this preparation of taking new roads and alleyways that we've never been down, because maybe we were scared to go down this alleyway and try it out because of a fear. We were maybe told that it wouldn't work out, that we couldn't, that we shouldn't. We got to take those routes. We got to at least try. If you feel this guidance, because we're in such a feeling time now, you know your truth. Now it's time to follow your intuition and the feeling based around what's going to bring you a life that you want. This is a big year for the collective. This is a big month for the collective. And I've been so excited for it because it is taking us to this next place. This is such a cusp jump time to be alive. This whole year. North Node Uranus. If you ever wanted to jump timelines, well, welcome to 2022. Welcome. So ironic too, because 2022, just that number in itself does make a 6, which is Venus, which is Taurus, which is beauty. relationships, abundance, the material. We need to focus on our material world right now. If we want our material world to change, our physical, dense reality that we all signed up to be a part of, this is a time to get it right. And of course, you have to focus on your own things. And there's a lot of psychology that's going to be pushed in the world. But you have to have compassion for the psychological differences. You have to let other people do their thing. That's going to be one of the hardest parts for people with this South Node Scorpio. Of course, it brings up fears, but it's going to bring up their deep psychology of people and trying to get into everything somebody's feeling and to know exactly what they're doing and what they're... I know exactly what you are doing and what you want, and I don't agree. It's fine. We have to agree to disagree in life, but this is a time to focus on your life. Yourself. Remember, Venus is now direct. This retrograde with Venus changed our perspective of what we can create for ourselves. It changed our relationship to ourselves and our mission that we came here to dedicate for ourselves. And the reason that can be hard for relationships is because if you were in relationships previously that weren't aligned with your soul's mission and destiny, then it's falling apart. It wasn't meant to go farther. It wasn't meant to be dedicated to. It ran its course. Saturn, before Pluto was found, was the ruler of death. Capricorn is the devil card. So you have to get real comfortable with yourself right now, and you got to make calls in your life that are going to take you farther with people, but most importantly with yourself, and to have compassion for other people that have a different destiny, because we all have a different destiny. And we have to tap into what that is to us as an individual, each one of us. Because what my destiny is or what your destiny is not what someone else's destiny is. We don't all have the same destiny, right? So this was a really good chance to get really comfortable. And it could have been dark. It could have been hard. It could have been intense. Because you have to shake shackles off you to go to a different route. And that's this Aquarius new moon in a nutshell, is it's a rattling off of chains so that you can create new programs in your life based on your upgrades and the physical abundance that you want to see in life. But something has to change with the square to Uranus. Something has to change. And Pluto North Node in trine, literally, it can be smooth. That's kind of what I'm feeling from this. It doesn't have to be like some kind of just tower card moment. It can kind of be smooth because you've already done the work. You've already gotten this far to do something special. You don't have to wait for somebody else to push you along to do it. This is where you got to take your special matters into your own hands and create them and manifest them and expand. Where so much is trying to restrict and contract, we have to break out, break through to new stories. This is a whole radical story change. I look at 3 degrees as beliefs, stories, faith, abundance. And that's what a 1 and a 2 make, where this new moon is at 12 degrees of Aquarius. And I also look at Aquarius as rebellious, revolutionary, breakthrough, genius, insight, collective. This is about wins. This is about wins for humanity. But we're never going to get wins for humanity if you're not winning for yourself. That's the polarity of Leo. You have to have both. You have to have the Leo. You have to know yourself. You have to feel comfortable in yourself. You have to shine in your light to shine with the collective. And that doesn't mean that you have to take the center stage and just be all Leo, but you have to come and find that sweet spot where you can step up and shine, because that shine is a vibrational match with other people. So you become a group of one first, and you become a group of many, and there is strength in numbers. And that's one thing that I hope we start to realize as a collective, especially in 2022, is that the strength is in the numbers. And guess who has the numbers? If you want to see change in your life, we got to stop putting our brothers and sisters down. We got to stop putting people down for a stupid, whether it's a political belief or a medical treatment belief. We got to come together and make change for the best. And we got to use all of our unique insights to figure it out. So we got to put our petty little differences aside so that we can create a win-win for everybody. And that's and that's what we need to do. I don't rehearse this stuff. It just happens. So I'm very excited for this week. We get Mars sextile Jupiter. That's fucking sick. An exalted Mars sextile a dignified Jupiter in Pisces. Talk about wanting to go after something and having all of that ambition and grit to get something done and to start really seeing it pay off. Start to see the dream come into physical, but you have to create the dream. It's very important that, like, if you want to see things blow up and expand, that you have to identify with the magic in your life that can be expanded upon. And we don't want to get stuck in like 12th house ruts. We do not want to escape because life's hard. This is a time where if life is hard, you have to pony up within yourself and say, something has to give and I'm going to make it change. I'm going to blow past this. I'm going to reach farther than this. I'm going to work my way out of this. Because that's where the abundance is. That's where the gifts are at. And the gifts are in the faith. You have to trust that if you're going to take a leap of faith into the unknown abyss of the universe because you feel deep within your soul that you need a change, you have to surrender to not knowing the outcome. You have to just give it up to something more, but keep working for the vision, the dream. This is where risks pay off. Mars in Capricorn, sextile Jupiter in Pisces, this is where your risks pay off. This is where oh my gosh, I took a risk for this and a miracle happened. Miracles. They exist. Jupiter is strong again. There is no south node holding it back. It's not in Saturn, in a sign that Saturn rules. It's not with Saturn. It's not in its fall position of Capricorn. It's in beautiful Pisces. And yeah, Pisces can be a little chaotic and a little crazy too. So there's definitely chaos and craziness in the world. But you know what? Some of it's beautiful. And I even look at the stuff that's going on in Canada and the videos I've seen. And it's beautiful chaos. But it's not chaos in the sense that it's just like madness. It's like the happy. It is so Piscean. It's so like everybody is connected in that space to see the greater good win. It's amazing. I hope that all works. Like I think that that's big, and I mean, I'm definitely anything that's going for freedom right now. I'm rooting for it, always. Mars and Venus are not going to conjunct this week, but they're getting so close, and they'll come within 3 degrees by the end of this week, and they're gonna make things happen. They're gonna sextile over to Neptune together. That is some serious love right there. Like, you can be finding love for something that you're dedicating to that you've never felt before because it matches with your soul. It's like soul dedications that are building up. And even having Jupiter and Mars in sextile kind of have that alignment too, and that vibration of feeling so strong in your soul to do something bigger that you're just going to give it up because that's the leading cause. That's what your guiding light is telling you to go for. Pretty amazing. And of course, that Mercury retrograde was insane. So thank God that we're done with that. That was a wild Mercury. I mean, anytime Mercury retrogrades in Aquarius are always a trip. And then that one to come back into Capricorn and meet with Pluto. And we've had to deal with the last Mercury retrograde, station retrograde in Libra, square Pluto at 25 degrees. Like, our minds have done some of the deepest investigative work on our futures and relationships and people and the collective. And now we're at a point of understanding our destiny more than ever, but we can still doubt ourselves or think that we need something else to push us along, or that we need to attach to someone else's power, when you have to own up right now and take your power. This week is so big for taking all the inner work that you've done over especially over the last like 40 plus days, and realize how much you came here to create in this life and how much you came here to do and what the purpose was, because we're stepping into purpose. And this is purpose that couldn't even have been consciously contemplated a couple years ago. Like, I think everybody, even people who thought they had their mission completely dialed, are realizing that the mission just got bigger. It just got expanded. We took on more responsibility on our mission. And we gotta own that responsibility, because we came here for a big purpose. It wasn't just a dilly-daddle life. It wasn't. And I hope you resonate with that. I'm going to show my chart now and look at some of these aspects that are going on. It's going to look a little funky here for a second. So there's my OBS, fun stuff. And then I knew that I'll just have to click on it. I need to fix my hotkeys. It's been a while and I messed this stuff up. But we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. All right. Hopefully this shows up the way I was expecting it to. I can't tell. I'm going to get this dialed in more. This was kind of last minute. All right. It looks like we're good. Okay. Sweet. So I want to look at Canada's chart with you guys because I think it's super interesting. Now, there is a little bit of debate on the time for Canada's chart. One of them's later on at night. One is at for 12 o'clock midnight, which is the chart I'm using because I think it makes more sense. Like even having Neptune on the ascendant, right? Because an Aries rising for Canada almost seems like a little like, Canada, they're so nice and soft. And Aries isn't exactly like soft, but it can be, especially when Neptune's involved. I am an Aries rising with Neptune square my ascendant. So maybe that gives you a little insight where I can get a little intense and I can go into things, but I mean, overall, I'm pretty chill character. So having Neptune in the 12th, but conjunct the ascendant, I like that. Plus, I also learned that Canada has the most ocean coastlines of any country in the world between the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic coasts. So Neptune is the ocean. Very interesting that the identity is that. So anyways, there's a few factors that when I was going through the two options, I think I like the Aries rising with Neptune on the ascendant. So I'm going to use that chart. I know people use, they both are used. This one seems to be the more popular choice. But what's crazy is I'll pull up the transits too, just so you can all see, because yeah, America's having its Pluto return, but guess what Canada's having with a Pluto at 15 degrees Taurus, which is getting squared by Saturn as we speak, literally as we speak, almost exact by the minute too. So not only is Pluto, which is the 8th house, like we're talking about like stuff that is out of Canada's control taking place right now. And they want to control it, but they can't. They can't. So Uranus is about to come and leave the first house and come into the second house. And it's going to be, I believe it's May 9th, will conjunct their Pluto exactly at 15 degrees. Just getting Uranus coming to 15 Taurus is a big deal because the slower moving planets hitting the 15 degree mark of the fixed signs squares the cardinal points of 0 Aries, 0 Cancer. So it makes a 45 to those cardinal points, semi-square. So it's a very sweet, sensitive spot. And that's exactly where Pluto is. And it's the 8th house ruler in the second house. So if you think that Canada isn't going to go through some crazy radical transformation, it's going to go through a crazy radical transformation. I don't know what to tell you. What's crazy too is Uranus is kind of helping out because it was in the Uranus trine and it was trine the sun. And also Canada's a Sun-Uranus conjunction. I have a Sun-Uranus conjunction too. No wonder people from Canada like me. I have a lot of Canadian viewers, actually. It's always been kind of funny. And seeing this chart's kind of funny that is a thing too. And then even Neptune on the ascendant, you know. But that Sun Uranus, it definitely does want to break out. It's so interesting, right? Because you get a fourth house sun and you get a sun, and a Uranus in there. Like there is this sense to find security, but the country actually has to shake things up. Like Canada is more revolutionary than it probably gets credit for. And it is under, of course, the rule of Queenie. So it's got to figure out right now if it wants to break free or not. I think this is a big point where there's actually been a buildup. And I think Canada is going to work to... It's a big possibility that it declares a big sense of freedom with this transformation. That's a big deal. And of course, having a new moon square Pluto with a 3-degree orb is also a big deal. It's interesting, too, that Saturn is trine the Venus of Canada, which is that second house that Uranus is about to enter and that Pluto's in. So it's almost like Canada might actually be realizing its own worth right now and having to understand that in a very mental way too, that we're worth more than what is being done. We are capable. And it kind of looks like that. I think it's so beautiful to see. Like Canadians are like owning their sovereignty. And they're putting differences aside. There's so many of them are. The streets are packed. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, like I know it's not on the news, but the social medias are going insane. So there's a new value being rebirthed in radical ways, and Uranus is for the people. So people are taking radical measures right now to liberate themselves and to liberate the country. And that's going to be part of this great transformation. Now, what also is crazy is, of course, Saturn in Scorpio for Canada, which opposes that Pluto. So there's this power grab that was initially like built in, but it can almost be like too much government power or power for people and their values. So that's the thing with oppositions. You can get caught on one side. And this could be the big turning point where it shifts more from a government Saturn, as it's going to be in their Saturn square at this, right after, just a few weeks after the Saturn square Pluto, and with Uranus coming to oppose and station retrograde with the North Node. Like, and this is 10th house stuff. So this is big government changes. There's liberation and there's big decisions that are going to be made. And also, of course, the Jupiter-Saturn met in the 10th house. So the next 20 years for Canada, like, there's going to be changes. There's going to be government changes. It's so interesting because I looked back at the last time Saturn was at 15 degrees of Aquarius. Just randomly, I was like, I'm going to check this for Canada. And it was in 92. And the prime minister back then did resign. So I don't know if we're going to see that happen with Trudeau. We definitely... anything's possible, but it would be very interesting. I mean, it would be history literally repeating itself. I have Justin Trudeau's chart. The trippy thing about Justin Trudeau is his chart is like not getting hammered super like he just went through, of course, like Saturn and Jupiter square or conjunct his North Node. He's had Uranus squares nodes for a while in Taurus, but I mean, he's already dealt with all the Capricorn and Pluto. Like there wasn't like a huge, like, and even his Uranus, it's already been squared by all that. It's like done. His Saturn got trined by the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. He just had eclipses in his 10th and 4th house. He's about to have eclipses come into his 9th and 3rd, which I think could be a big deal because he could be going through a lot of mental anxiety. If there was anything that he was going through, it would probably be mental. And another reason for that would probably be maybe his Venus. It's already dealt with Saturn, though. And it's not going to have any really hard aspects for a little while until planets kind of start coming into Taurus. So it's not like he's got this like the worst things ever taking place. He does have Jupiter, which is going to square his Mercury, which is his chart ruler as a Virgo rising. He's going to be his Jupiter square. He's got Neptune squares Jupiter. I mean, that could be a lot. Jupiter's an amplifier, and we're dealing with fifth house stuff. Maybe he finds his heart. He is a fifth house sun. So even though he's a Capricorn, he probably does have some heart, believe it or not. He's probably just heavily controlled. Maybe he makes a move and breaks out. I doubt it, though. That's me being hopeful. But Jupiter squared, even Neptune squaring his Jupiter, like talk about him thinking. I've seen some of his press conferences, right? Like, of course, he sounds like all the rest. You know, Biden and Dr. F. Go get your thing. Totally safe and effective. Still saying it when all the science has proved different. And all the stats have come out now. It's crazy. And just forcing that for these mandates and these control and all this totalitarianism. So there's this like delusion, big time delusions that he's dealing with right now. But is he going to have the disillusionment? Is that going to break to where it's like the floodgates of like his heart and maybe his conscious actually coming back and saying enough is enough? I guess not out of the realm of possibility. And Saturn's going to trine his Uranus and his Juno. So he kind of has not, like, he doesn't have the worst aspects. Uranus rules his sixth house. It's definitely interesting for health. And he's getting a new moon in his sixth house. They did say he got a cold. Came down with something when the convoy was coming, which is interesting, but. And then Mars at 29, so he gets the Mars-Jupiter conjunction, which, again, it's not like Jupiter's just like the worst thing to have happen to a planet. Like Jupiter just expands things, so it's going to expand a lot of his 8th and 9th house shit. So there could be vulnerabilities. He's also Chiron in the 8th house in Aries, so he's in his Chiron return right now too. And a moon in Aries. I guess there's there's a transformation of identity that could potentially come because maybe he gets a sense of conscience or does some healing. I don't know, but he's in a interesting place right now where his reality is definitely getting shaken up some way or another, but it's not like the worst things to ever happen. And next year he'll get the nodes squaring his nodes, so he'll be in his nodal squares. But he's already dealt with a lot of the bigger aspects, and even Saturn finishing and staying on his north node and stationing at 6 degrees of Aquarius was a pretty big deal. And his north node is ruled by Uranus, so having Saturn come off that north node and trine Uranus, I don't know. Especially in Libra, maybe he does find a balance for the people. Maybe he does. Maybe this changes the mandates. It's very interesting to contemplate with what's going on in Canada. And then I did a composite chart for Trudeau and Canada because I think it's a little bit more interesting to see their relationship because they are coming off 12th, 6th house eclipses, which is a pretty big deal. And they're also, they're in their nodal flip. North node's about to conjunct the south node in the 12th house. So I feel like something's about to just turn one way or the other, the country and the relationship to him. You know, he might resign. Something's going to change. And then his reality getting shaken up. He might not want to do it anymore. It'll be very interesting to watch that. And then Mars is at 17 degrees, which Mars is going to finish this year in Gemini and retrograde in his 12th house. And have a Mars return, not his, but this composite chart between Trudeau and Canada. Something's going to go down with Trudeau by the end of this year. It might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen in a month. But something crazy. And, you know, the 12th house is very interesting because it is a lot of things. It's kind of all things built into one. But it is like institutions, jails, hospitals, getting, you know, put behind the scenes of life, having to really go, getting taken out of reality to contemplate all the emotion and all the feelings of all things. Or it's some kind of spiritual identificational awakening, because the North Node's there too in this chart. So Canada is kind of waking up. Is Trudeau and Canada are they doing it together though? Is he actually like more on people's side than people know because of a sense of actually having compassion? It makes me wonder. I wish I knew what he was actually going through, because I do think that all these people are pretty much just puppets. I wonder if behind the scenes they just kind of shake their head at what they're actually doing, but they still keep doing it because of some other reason that we don't know about. I don't know. It's interesting, of course, that Pluto's been making good aspects to this nodal axis. And Pluto's in the 8th house. Saturn and Jupiter met there, which is more transformational energy, death, rebirth. And Uranus is still in the 11th house, where it does like to be, even though it's in Taurus. And there's a Taurus moon, so that in 2023, in this composite chart, Uranus is going to meet with the composite moon, which is 2nd house too, which is where Pluto resides. And of course, there's a sextile between the moon and Pluto, so that'll be big. And Pluto's more 6th house stuff and also rules the North Node. Yeah, I don't know. The end of this year and coming into next year is going to be very, very interesting. I do think that Canada changes drastically. Now, hopefully this is kind of like a declaration of independence kind of thing, but something's getting, there's a lot of rebellion going on, to say the least. There's a lot of Uranus, there's a lot of 11th house in both those charts. So that was just my quick little rundown of that. And yeah, I'll check the chat real quick and see if anybody's in there. Maybe nobody even watched this. I have no idea. Oh my God, there were people watching. Thanks for joining, guys. I hope you found this insightful or entertaining. Did you know you were doing a live? Yeah. Yeah, I bet. I chose to go live. Hopefully it's good enough. Let's go to live chat. Hello, Michelle. Thanks for watching. Love the background. Thank you. I dig this office space a lot. I want to get some more lights for it, I'll be honest. I want to vibe it up a little bit more, but it's good for now. Yes. Oh, the new t-shirt? It's a sweater. I've had this sweater for a few years. I don't know. There's something about being in Southern California that has me like a little edgier. Maybe it's being in high vibe studios that it's kind of a little more edgy. I do like I'm a fan of camo. Always have been. I love that, Junie. No more asking permission to be ourselves. Amen to that. Yes, manifesting generator. Hey, Amy. Yeah, bless their souls. From Canada. Yes, Arya. From a Canadian. Yeah. Bless the Canadian. Go Canada. Go Canada. Go Canada. I'm just loving it. I'm rooting for Canada big time. Oh, you didn't know I was doing a live. Gotcha. Now I read that right. Yeah, I haven't done a live in probably since October. I had a 12th house lunar return in October, and I swear it like took me out. But I just stopped doing lives. Of course, I always show up for the dailies, and I'm always doing the work, and I have readings, and I moved and got a job at High Vibe. It's definitely been amazing. I can't say it's been so behind the scenes, but in terms of lives, and then my Instagram got shadow banned, so it's like I was going to do more lives on IG, and now I'm just like, screw it. What's the point? Jitty, yeah. It called you Jitty. Yitty. Yitty's like my best friend, but I do call her Jitty too, just to make her upset, so it's all right if it slips out. Yeah, you took some photos of the royals, I remember. Yeah, definitely puppets. I'm so happy to be at High Vibe. I think that's another reason I wanted to live stream again, is because I have really good internet here. And I'm also going to get a direct connect, which I'm not hardwired in yet. But woo, when I am, this internet's like 6,000 up, like 8,000 down. Fiber optic, it's insanity. I've never experienced internet this fast. And even just this Wi-Fi is like 150 download, or it's 150 down, like 200 up megabytes. It's insane. I do like Southern California. I've been really vibing here. I've been busy. Like, I feel like more of a Capricorn than ever. I mean, I've just been on the grind, hustling. But there's something about hustling for something you want to do that is so satisfactory. So, I mean, like, you got to find the things that you want to hustle for right now and then give it your 100% commitment. And that's where it's at. I think we have to go with what our heart wants to do. If we're like giving our 100% to anything that doesn't feel like amazing to us, there's a reason. And I know that that's a hard one to break out of, because we can have positioned ourselves in places in life where it takes a big change to do that. But I mean, I can tell you from my life 4 years ago to where it is now, I would never have gotten to this place right now if I didn't make some of the biggest changes that I ever had to make in my life. I gave up $100,000 a year job installing turf fields to become an astrologer. My family, my wife at the time, caused a divorce, thought I was nuts. It takes risks if you want to make dreams happen. So hopefully that's inspiring. Not everybody has to make that big of change, but if you feel like you're stuck and you need a change, it is a risk. Fortune does favor the bold, but sometimes we get lucky too. So we want to be open to where things can show up in our lives, because this is a time where there's definitely aspects that can show up, but are we really going to just sit around and wait for the great things to show up, or are we going to create great things? And I think that right now we're starting to see that we have to put our energy into the great things. Whatever that is in your life that inspires you and that feels divinely aligned with your mission. And this could be so different for so many people. For some people, their divine mission could be being a stay-at-home mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not like a one-size-fits-all thing. So I'm not trying to say you have to go become an astrologer and work at High Vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so unique to each and every one of you. It could be anything. There is no... It's not one thing. So you have to do this work within yourself to know what it is you want to do that lights you up. So if you love selling makeup, then you need to dedicate to your makeup sales. You know this is where I'm getting at. Like, it's your heart. It's what you feel like is the best. So it can be all sorts of things, of course. Blooper reel. Always a blooper reel. I'm a walking blooper reel, in case anybody hasn't noticed. And you spelt it wrong, putting that on your blooper reel. Edgy. I know, I do work with David. I got to give love to David. He's just, I love that guy. He's the man. He has treated me so well since I've gotten here, and I'm so grateful that I get to be a part of this. He's the man. Yes, Yvette, you do have to take me to go eat tacos soon. I'm not scared of East LA. I'm more scared of putting on the face diaper in LA. Hopefully East LA is like, you don't have to wear a face diaper. I'd rather get shot at than wear the fucking mask. I know, crazy, right? But I'm like, I don't want to put that stupid thing on my face. A lot of people in Huntington Beach do wear a mask. A lot of people don't, but definitely more than where I was from in Northern California. I can't put that thing on my face. If I have to go somewhere that makes me wear it, I won't go. Which is so cool because I had to, change my address and go to the post office and banks. The banks and the post office will let you just walk in. Even though everybody else in those places is wearing a mask and I'm just the only one who's not. But I'm not giving in to that stupid. It's too stupid. My Aquarius moon is like, this is way too stupid. I can't do that stupid of things. I can't. Yeah, David got shadow banned too. Me too. David got double shadow banned. He was already shadow banned, and then he sends me a message, and they double shadow banned him. It's fucking amazing. It's like, you should be proud. Not everybody just gets double shadow banned. Doing something right. But I'm very excited for this week. I'm excited for Canada. There are radical changes happening to the soul of that country. And even with the United States having their Pluto return, there are the soul and the integrity of these countries in North America are going through some really big moments right now. And I like to think that the United States declaring their independence literally 248 years prior to where Canada's at right now, that this is where Canada does the same thing. And I hope the same for Australia. I haven't looked at Australia's chart, but I bet there's crazy shit going on there too. It's so we all have some crazy shit going on. Except Justin Trudeau, like, I should look at his progressions. Because, like, Justin Trudeau's so interesting to me because he's just, like, kind of already had a lot of big shit happen. And it's so funny that all this is going down now and he's just chilling. But maybe it's not even about him. Maybe he's just that much of a figurehead and he's just that useless that he's just, like, not even bothered right now. He's just, like, it's all front. He has to go, like, get on camera and pretend to be bothered. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, he's going to have the node square his progressed sun here in a couple months. So that's a big one for his progressed sun. And Saturn's going to meet with his progressed sun this year and station retrograde on it. So that's where, and I can come back and show you guys what that looks like. This is Justin Trudeau's progressed sun, 24 Aquarius, which happens to be conjunct my moon exactly right now. So it's so funny I'm talking about the guy. But, and also progressed moon. So he's also he's about to come up on his progressed new moon, which is wild. That's going to happen at what looks like 25, maybe 26 degrees of Aquarius, 25 degrees of Aquarius. And that's coming November 28th of 2022. This guy, yeah. So it was all in his progression. So I'm looking at his natal chart, and sometimes that doesn't give you all the answers with transits. Sometimes it's about the progressions. And Saturn is going to station retrograde on his progressed new moon. And this is going to be a big deal because the moon is intercepted in his chart. The ruler it rules Cancer. Cancer and Capricorn are intercepted in his 5th and 11th house. This is a major karmic moment about his role in society, with people, within himself. It does bring up the heart stuff again. There's something about karma maybe around finding structure around his soul and finding happiness. I don't think the guy's happy. Maybe this changes that. Maybe he finds something here because he has to go deep within himself to do so. Because that's going to be the end of this year is insane for him. So very interesting to see. And even as Saturn has ingressed back into Taurus, and it's pretty much conjunct his midheaven, but it's direct now. So he's been dealing with that, and it's going to progress into Gemini and get kind of shaky and kind of juggly, a little bit more all over the place, maybe within his career. Because he was born with a retrograde Saturn. So now he's actually like becoming more responsible. And of course the Chiron return is a big deal. And I think that semi-square is progressed new moon. He's in a major Aquarian change here where he might actually want to create win-wins in life and change his reality to match that. I don't know. It will be very interesting for him. That's big though. And Saturn, Mercury, and that progressed Mercury, it's part of his chart ruler, rules the 11th. And it's in Aquarius now. Making good aspects to his Jupiter though. And really the progressed moon is making good aspects to his Jupiter. So it's not like we're talking like the worst things here. And usually progressed new moons are just big new chapters in people's lives. Like they're not like the most common thing. So we're talking like all of a sudden this really big scene of your soul's evolution kind of changes in the background. It's probably not even as conscious as just, especially with the 6th house, like literally just reality is starting a new chapter, and it's one that maybe he never saw coming with Aquarius too, because that's how strange and out of the ordinary it can be. But it can also be really smart where he's realizing that something's not working and it has to change, and he's just ready to change things. I don't know. It's a lot. I mean, it's not the craziest. I was expecting crazier when I first looked that up. The stares you get when you're the only one not wearing a mask. I know, I don't even care. I just look at them and smile because, well, they can see my face. So why not give them a smile? Yep, Junie. That's exactly it. Yeah, can't follow the stupidity. Taco trucks are outside. That's right. Rebellion is normal here in the hood. Yeah, totally. Love that. Yeah, he's an actor. I agree, Yiddy. He left with family. Yeah, went on vacation, huh? He doesn't give a fuck. I should hike at sunset, but I've been super busy. But maybe I will get into that. Maybe we get run over by a truck. All right. Oh, hey Angie, nice to see you. I think I'm gonna call it, everybody. I do appreciate the ones who stayed up a little late and watched this live. Hope you enjoyed the channel, and hope you enjoyed a little bit of the look at the Canada stuff and Trudeau. It's definitely interesting stuff that's going on, and we'll see where it goes. Sending you all my best. I'm gonna go. Maybe I'll come back after I make and get like set up, but maybe I'll do the tarot show live, or maybe I'll just record it and upload it. But then I got Monday's horoscope to do too. And then I move into my new place here on Tuesday. So I'm super excited for that. So it's my last night in this Airbnb I've been staying in. So I got to do some packing tonight, and then I have to be out of there at 12. And I've been waking up at like 12, so I got to like wake up a little earlier. Becoming a vampire. High Vibe will do that to you. All right. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll try and do more lives and connect with you all. So sending you all my best. I'm going to get on the screen. I need to get on like David's. I need to get on the streaming software he has, because OBS is cool, but like, woo. I'll get there eventually. Sending you all my best. Love you all so much. Have a great week. I'll see you for all the dailies and the tarot I'm going to get done right now. Much love. Peace.